It's going to get warmer. So, I better get this stuff started, and I'm sure that everybody's here on the roll call. We'll record as such. And we'll go to the minutes from February the 13th, 2017. Any corrections on the minutes for us? Motion then to accept the minutes as they are written.
You have that motion?
Second?
I'll second.
Roll call vote.
Diane,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Mary Lou,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, I made my comments, so I guess that will take us up to the village administrator. John, we're going to put you on right away.
All right, sir. I don't fall over first. Just kind of a short report tonight. I had one service worker that helped to clean up around the service garage up north, or up on the hill there. Took a couple days to do that. Finishing up some things at the wastewater plant. The ladders and platforms over the two tanks are being installed today and probably tomorrow. We're getting into our routine of getting the materials taken out of the biosolid buildings over to SWACO, Solid Waste Authority. The press is up and running. We're trying to get into a good routine so we can see incoming materials and then the pressing of them and then the delivery of them to SWACO. So we get into a decent routine where we're running the plant nice and smoothly and eventually probably open it back up to the local septic trucks that we used to do. So it's a kind of an ancillary source of income. London City does that. A lot of the big wastewater plants do that, and they make a fair amount of income to assist in the operating funds of their facilities. So we're looking toward that future and doing that. The excuse me, the new water plant, the roof is on. The siding should start soon. Concrete floors are complete. Internal walls should start in the next month or so. Expected delivery date for your information has been moved out to more likely to be August of 2017. We've had quite a few weather and mostly rain delays that have just basically stopped us from doing some of the big work. So it's now pushed out to approximately August. August is a 31-day month, and I don't know what part of August, early or late, I'm not sure yet. So August is the best I can give you at the moment. Still looking at our traffic mitigation process around High Street, East Main, up down through there. One of the actions you have tonight is to assist us in going back to ODOT to get some of those things changed once we pass a business district. I'm told that there's possibly an older one somewhere, but certainly we have to renew one and see what we can do. Once that's done, I can go to ODOT, see if we're stepping on their toes at all in terms of where we designate that, and then they'll pull the reins a little bit or let me go, and the other, see if we can move things around. That way we can start working on our own traffic patterns and speed signs and things like that in that district. County engineer's still waiting on ODOT to respond on tapping into the 48-inch main down on 56 in front of the service plant for the mitigation of the water down through Cliffview. That's still a top priority agenda item, and I know the engineer is anxious to get it going too, so we're working on that.
Okay, before you go on with that, I concur with what you just said, and Brian told me the same thing last week. I wonder if we would contact the people out here at this highway department and find out if we can't get something started and contact with Brian, not to go over his head, but contact with him to get him moving, because I know how the state operates if they can get by with it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. There is apparently some feet dragging going on, so I'll check with them. They're very reluctant in giving me guidance because they usually refer me to ODOT downtown and their engineers, but I'll let them do that again for me.
I also mentioned to Brian that we could do it ourselves because they probably would not know that we were doing it and we've had it finished. What could they do? But he wouldn't do it that way. So,
I concur with the county engineer on that one, sir.
Well,
I
you
don't
know,
wanna-
it
I don't
is
wanna
our
have ODOT
village.
in my pocket, so.
And when Jim Jacobs put it in, I'm sure he didn't go through them to put it in to begin with.
I reckon not.
And Diane and I And
Probably
Jim, and Mary Lou, Dave, the rest of us have been around here a long time, a few years, and I'm sure he didn't. And like, I'm serious, I don't think they'd even know.
I can show you how to run the bulldozer if you'd like.
I know where there's a good one,
A bulldozer?
of course.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
All right.
Okay, that's all I have pending the questions.
Oh, thank you for the 25-mile-an-hour signs, the work that you've done for traffic
Okay?
on East Main.
See, they don't know about it.
Right.
ODOT's not going to respond to it.
Yeah, well, I might ask forgiveness later.
Yeah.
You know how
right.
that saying goes.
Okay. I used
All
to
they can do is tell me to take them down, so we'll get there.
Any questions? All right.
Thank you.
You're-
It's
Thank you
John's
very much.
birthday, too, today. Lowell, it's John's
Yes, it
birthday
is.
today.
Yes, he had kept that hidden all day. 29 again or 39?
Yes, sir.
Happy birthday.
At minimum.
All right.
I'm actually eligible to retire today, if that's any indication.
Your age and my hip size are the same number.
Matches my IQ.
That's old and smart.
Remember, Max is on his strictest to get a good report tonight.
That's right.
All right, we have a sheriff's report from Professor Dills.
I
You're
have
on.
none.
You have nothing?
Thank you.
We'll meet tomorrow then.
Okay.
And Mark,
I have no report.
Bonnie,
Nothing.
no reports, just have everything laid out. Clerk will take care of us shortly with numbers. Finance, Rebecca, you're on.
Okey dokey. First, does everybody have a copy of the cash summary, the receipt listing, and payment listings?
Think so.
Okay.
We have the receipts listing in front of us.
And so, unless there's any questions, I need a motion to approve those listings, the payment, the receipt, and the cash summary
So moved,
by fund.
so moved.
All right, you have a motion in front of you. Seconded?
I'll second.
I think it has been, but anyway, we'll take a couple more. Any discussion on the roll call vote, please?
Rebecca?
Yes?
Jim?
Yes.
Mary Lou?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
On the cash summary report, Max, open your ears on this one. You reported last time that we were $433,000 behind schedule. Remember that? Well, anyway, I think you did. You said our general fund was in the red, $433,000. I am happy to report it's $320,000 and counting downward. So we're going to get out of
We're
that.
moving in the
and
right
get this
direction.
straightened out.
We're getting
And we will make it,
Yes.
because whatever. And the auditors are still working diligently as long as we can keep them. Sometimes they say they're coming in on Monday, they come in on Tuesday or Wednesday, and they are going to get us. They want an extension on the time, and we said no. The extension on one of our processes, I think it's May the 31st, I believe. They want to extend it another month. We said no. So we don't know how far we'll get by with that, but we'll try it. I am in private conversations with the county or the state auditor. We've had some conversations with the county auditor. The county auditor and our state auditors have to work together. Okay.
I have one.
And I have something
Okay.
else, a couple other things too. There's a piece of paper that everybody will need to take a look at and sign. It has to do with the bank reconciliation for January of 2017. It's something that they want council, it's the reconciliation figures. They want everyone to sign each month.
Right.
And the good thing about this too, this is for bank reconciliation of January 31st, 2017, meaning we are up to date.
Isn't
It's
that, that's
been a
wonderful.
long time coming, and I can only, what Cindy has gone through has been,
Right.
it's taken such tenacity and everything to get to this point. So I have it here. Before you leave, everybody take a look at it, please, and it also requires everyone's signatures on this also.
Okay,
And I wanted to bring up what was in our packet. This thing was a marvel.
Oops.
it is.
This thing was a marvel. I mean, you hear it, and it comes in little pieces, but then here it is.
There it is, and that's
It's beautiful.
2013 through mid-2016, I believe.
Right.
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 We
It's-
had a call today for something back, was it 3 years ago? Cindy and Diane, did Cindy mention to you that, and John, you got a request for something, well, I think it was year 2013. 11, 12, or 13, and we just said it's not available yet.
Yeah, that was a company that reports municipal year-end balances. Bloomberg LP is the name of it.
So we told
Looking
them,
for 13, 14, 15, and 16 end reports, which we said, we'll get them. I mean, it's a public record certainly, but until the auditors are done and they put the ink on it and
right,
it's dry.
they'll get it when it's
we won't
ready.
have anything to give them. But we'll certainly do that as soon as we have them.
Okay.
So I still have a couple more things, yeah.
I'm just throwing them in while you're catching your breath.
Okay. No, actually, what you're going to see on this reconciliation, we're kind of passing it around, that there are still 2 outstanding items. It's something that the state, everyone is aware of, and Cindy's just being instructed. It just shows like, not that it didn't balance, there's just 2 items, though, that are still under consideration. But I have another motion to make in regards to this, and that is a motion to approve the January bank reconciliation. The January bank reconciliation is reconciled with the same adjusting factors, those are those 2 items I mentioned, as we had in December of 2016.
Motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Questions of Rebecca on this motion? Now, I think this motion would go into effect for forever, wouldn't it? So we won't have that motion anymore.
No, I think
Okay.
it's just mostly that they want to make sure that all the reconciliations every month are approved by council.
And we'll list those, that's right. Okay,
And then last but not least.
wait a minute.
Oh,
We have the
sorry.
motion, and we have a second, and I want to vote.
Jim,
Roll call.
Yes.
Mary Lou,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Continue, please.
Okay, and we are going to be having a finance committee meeting. It's going to be set for next Tuesday, which is, I believe, March 7th at 4:00 PM here at Town Hall. Does that work for you, Dave?
Yeah, I can be there.
At 4,
At 4:00.
okay.
Does that work for you, Mark?
Pardon me?
I was asking Mark.
Yes.
Okay, we're setting a meeting for March the 7th at 4 PM here at the town hall.
Yes.
Now, quick question, Mark, if anybody else from council attends a committee meeting, they can't be a part of that meeting because then we're out of the sunshine law.
Yeah.
We're actually having a council meeting.
Right,
So if I came, I could sit somewhere else.
right.
Okay.
Is the key to that just not engaging in discussion or participating?
Right.
Unless it's a workshop.
Unless it's a workshop?
Right.
Okay, 4 PM, March the 7th, that's next week, that would be a week from tomorrow.
Right.
Okay, you're still on, you
I
ready?
think that covers everything.
Covers most of it, huh?
So, just so we're clear about that, it's not just that there's a quorum present, it means,
Participating, yeah.
and you're sure about that? Okay, because I just thought before we had all agreed that any and all council members can go to any and all.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, we can all go. Yeah, but
Yeah,
we
the
can't
treasurer.
participate unless it's a workshop
Yeah.
like we had for the insurance. Then we could all not only be there, but throw in our thoughts as well. But if you have a three-person committee, according to the state, and if anybody else decides to attend, they're more than welcome to attend. Anybody in the public can attend, but we as extraneous to the committee couldn't participate.
Why don't we just have workshops
that's-
and be done with it?
That's what I was wondering.
I think that's the better idea.
And that way,
then
we
let's-
can have the value of the input of.
I think that's,
We can do it
Because
with the
there's some-
workshop, that's what you want to do, be fine
Yeah,
with me.
let me change that then. Let's
It's
make
just
this
a
a
matter of
finance
semantics.
workshop,
I'll be fine with me.
or work session, excuse
Right.
me.
Okay, we're going to continue. The next item I have was that Rita report, of which you have in your packet, shows that is 16 to this date, it was 76,000 plus for that month. This year to date is 86. We're climbing. All right, any questions on the Rita report? Okay. You talked about the cash summary by fund. Anyone have a question or anything on that? We're not broke, but we're not going to spend it either. What we do have. Okay. Finance said, Festival, Park and Recreation, the Festival Committee is meeting already. David or
The main
Rebecca,
thi-
grab it.
The main thing on festival, we discussed, what areas we was gonna have certain merchants, so we start, like, letting them come into the gym this year, and so some of them wanna be in the gym. Discussed about the parade, and, the main discussion there, and that was about it until we get our next meeting. It was more or less breaking ground for committees.
Okay, the next Festival Committee meeting will be
It'll be on, the
16th?
16th, yes, sir, 16th March.
16th of March, Festival. All of you are welcome on that. It's at the community center. 3:30 or 4
I
or
I think,
7?
we meet at 6 o'clock.
was
Okay,
gonna say, I
6
thought it
o'clock.
was 6
Yeah,
normally for
6
that.
o'clock, yeah.
at the community center.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anything else on the Parks and Rec? It's beginning to look like it's time to get in the parks, and we're getting anxious. And after last Thursday, we're really
Yes.
spoiled, weren't we? And Friday,
Beautiful weather.
Tri-County Fire District,
We have a meeting Tuesday.
Joint Ambulance District,
meeting March the 8th, Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Pleasant Township.
Yeah, I did attend the meeting on February 20th. Jim Davis was also there with me. They approved their February 6 minutes. In old business, they revisited a problem up at Burr Oaks, the neighborly type of dispute. And Gary Neff, acting as a good ambassador, once again spoke with the one property owner who's complaining about her neighbor's pollution of one form or another, and he's done all he can do, and if she needs any additional redress, I guess she's going to have to take some type of civil action, but he has done everything he can do, and in good faith, I might add. It has to do with him burning things of that nature, refuse. The fire department can't do anything about it either. So, then they set a work date for cleaning up Alkire Cemetery of April 1st. They talked about the trustees gathering at the engineers, township trustee meeting at the engineer's office in London on February 16th. In new business, they talked about unloading their trucks of salt and so forth, which it doesn't look like they're going to be needing. And old business, but also new business, is the situation of the squirrels at the cemetery. And they have a plan. The trustees have been working in tandem with the cemetery board, and they seem to have come up with, at least for now, a plan to trap the squirrels live. And so they're going to try to at least curb the population as much as they can by setting live traps, and Metro Parks in West Jeff, Battelle, the Battelle grounds there are willing to take these live squirrels off their hands, and they're going to just try to trap as many of them as they can, and hopefully before mating season. And so they're hoping they can at least control the population growth, at least for now. And they basically went over their finances, their bank reconciliation balance from the previous month. And they talked about, they just got new parts on their mower, and it looks like Mr. Junk is going to do the installation of those new parts on the mower. And that's about all I
Okay,
heard. Did you hear anything else, Jim?
That's it.
and you'll file that with Bonnie for the minutes,
Yeah.
okay? Jim is retired, and we do not get much information about what's going on with the cemetery. So Diane, I'll add that burden onto you. I don't know what time they meet. Do you?
Meet at 12 o'clock on a Wednesday, but I don't remember which one it is.
Okay, Diane, will you want to do that? Be a representative to go out to the Pleasant Township, and they meet where?
At the house across from the cemetery.
Oh, they meet at the house across from the cemetery there.
If you feel it's necessary, I mean,
Well,
Gary.
You know, most of the time, we don't hear anything from them except when they
Well,
want a bond levy.
Gary reports at the township, at the trustee meetings.
It is, of the three.
then I
and Pleasant
kinda relate.
Township trustee, and the clerk, and the Darby Township trustee.
Yeah, I mean, Gary goes and he reports back at their
See
regular
if you
meetings.
want anything for us to hear. So if you want to take turns, and it's up to you. If Jim wants to do it, since he's vacationing now from previous employment,
Forced retirement.
a forced retirement. Okay, so you two take care of that for me.
I mean,
All set? Okay. Okay, that'll take care of that. We'll go into ordinances and resolutions. The first one, 17-2. This is an ordinance adopting procedures and methodologies for the payment of water and sewer bills. You've had a chance to read that. I would like to place it on the first reading. I think we'll go through 3 of these.
That's fine.
Okay, everybody? It's up to you, but let's place it on, at least on the first reading. That's 17-2. And this is an ordinance that we desire to use to update and codify the procedures and methodologies for the payment of water and sewer bills. And we want to do this right away. Something else that we're working on too. We have some people that have a tremendous water bill, like $700. And they pay a little bit here and there, but we can't shut the meter off. And so, Mary Lou, we're going to borrow that Caterpillar or bulldozer, whatever, and we're going to make a gigantic hole in their yard because the shut-off is in the house, and we are not allowed to get in the house. And so they trigger a little bit of money here and then, but we are going to get busy and shut them off. So anyway, that's part of this deal here. $700. We have two like that. And the excuse is, well, we can't shut them off because they have a water heating system. Well, Max, you'll probably get a picture of me, but I'll be right out there. We are going to shut them off. That's not fair to everybody else. And Jack's just back there smiling. He's ready to go too.
Well, how are you going to do it?
We're going to shut off the water out in their yard and put in a shut-off out there. The one that they have is in the house, and they
That
will.
wouldn't be trespassing or anything?
No, it won't be on their property, it'll be at the curb line where it comes off the tap. We have to dig down in, we cut the line, we put in a meter pit and a turnoff valve
Okay,
when we do that, but it's actually in the right of way. So the problem is we can't just go into somebody's house and turn their water off, we can't do that. So since we can't get to it, inside or outside, we'll put the meter pit out, put it right away, right at the curb line. And then we'll be able to shut them off until we get paid, we'll have the meter so we can get better, and manage the property a little bit better.
When are you going to try to accomplish this?
As soon as spring hits and we're not really up against any kind of weather.
ASAP.
We have a whole program. Bonnie just printed me out a list of all remaining mechanicals in town. It's like 167 left, of which probably 30 or 40 of those are in-house ones that we can't get to. So one of our priorities in the spring will be to place those where we can manage them. If there was a catastrophic problem in the house, we couldn't help them anyway, so it's better that we're able to manage that from out the street. So that's one of our priorities in the spring, as soon as the weather.
okay, well, that's soon, because spring is 20th of March.
Right.
And I'd like to say, Max, I don't really have a bulldozer. I'm just known as a town bully, but I don't really own the equipment. I haven't needed any equipment yet. Oh, no, don't look for me out there.
Okay, all right. I want a motion to place ordinance 2017-2 on the first reading.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
discussion. Roll call vote, please.
Mary Lou,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Jim.
Yes,
And this was approved by form by our solicitor, and I'm going to verify that again?
Correct.
Okay. All in order. Okay, ordinance 17-3, and this to approve the 2017 budget and make appropriations for current expenses of the Village of Mount Sterling during fiscal year ending December the 31st, 2017. And this one, we would like to leave the emergency clause in there. And you have it in front of you, 2017-3. I would like to have a motion to suspend the rules so we can get this done with the state auditors.
I'll give you a motion.
All right.
Second.
If you're ready, we'll roll call vote on the suspension of the rules.
David,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes,
Mary Lou.
Yes.
Now that we've suspended the rules, I would like to have a motion to place ordinance 2017-3 on the first, second, and third reading.
You have that motion, sir.
I'll second.
Roll call vote.
Diane,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Jim,
yes,
Mary Lou,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
The reading's passed. Now I would like to have a motion to adopt ordinance 2017-3. Ordinance, final motion for adoption.
I'll give you a motion.
Second.
Ready? Roll call vote.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes,
Mary Lou,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Diane.
Yes.
Again, a lot of things we're doing on these ordinances are ordinances that are asked of us by our auditors, state auditors. So they have adopted that. It's not an emergency, we're going to shut off water or not have this or not have that. The ordinance with the emergency clause goes into effect right now. So everybody know that it wasn't an emergency for the fact that somebody's life and death, but it's going to be if we don't do it. Ordinance 217-4. Designating a downtown business district in the village of Mount Sterling. I don't know, do we want to leave the emergency in on that one?
You can leave the emergency clause, or the emergency, declaring an emergency in, but there is no clause in there of why you're declaring an emergency. So
Okay.
It doesn't have the clause.
So let's just place it on the first reading. Okay. Questions on that? We'll place it on the first reading. Do I have a motion to place it on the first reading?
You have that motion?
And seconded?
I'll second.
Okay. Discussion of this ordinance. So we're going to
Is-
place it on the first reading. If we want to declare an emergency, we can at future times.
And this is the map that's attached that shows the business district outlined. And it's basically Main Street, 62, or Columbus Street, and part of Yankeetown. Is that right?
What, you have a question?
Well, but it doesn't continue down like London to Church Street or anything like that. It just stops at, for London Street, it just goes really from Main Street to Columbus to the Methodist Church.
The Department of Transportation has some rules that I still have to get a final work on. I was going to ask Mark to help me on that when I get back from the.
Okay, so this might not be the final,
It may not be the final, that's why the 3 readings are better, because I'll have better
Okay.
information, just wanted to get it started. But ODOT basically says if you have a designated business district, which means that there's a district of business open to the public every so many feet. So to try to push it all the way down to Napa and try and push it out here, push it out there, probably they're gonna call the flag on us and say, no, you can't do that. But downtown, of course, we got boutiques and shops, down to the
Right.
church on Main and.
I was gonna say, but
those various
churches can,
areas.
right?
Once we designate that, then the Department of Transportation then has rules that kick in that say, in your business district, in your village, then you can manage your speeds and your traffic management in your business district if it's specifically designated, and that's why we needed to do that, so that we can, it's part and parcel of this whole comprehensive program of traffic management, and we can change speeds, we can put up signage, as long as we have it within our designated business district.
Okay. With that in mind, we're talking about, I have a question about extending London Street to the railroad track. It stops at,
Basically from Reiterman's down to the church on London Street.
Okay, I couldn't tell by the highlighting.
Yeah, and that's my poor mapping skills, I'll have to get Eric involved in that. You can see he made us a wonderful map, so now I'm gonna ask him to help him with this one too. So, but it goes basically from Reiterman's feed.
Okay, it does go to
all the way
Reiterman's, okay.
south to the end of the church.
Okay, but it
It's
doesn't-
all along through there.
it doesn't show it on here.
Yeah, it didn't copy. It's on my original. But it
So
didn't- it
we're
didn't
going
copy
London
at all.
Street to the railroad, then to left past the church, down to,
Right at the top of the hill, basically.
okay,
On my copy, it actually goes up to Chestnut, where Reiterman's is.
Good.
Goes all the way down to where the Methodist church is.
Okay,
And then basically I'm trying to get out to the community center if I can, but I might get busted on that one. And I wanted to go all the way to the other point, because we have the car wash and we have the
Right.
Funeral home.
The funeral
and
home.
Apartments and other things. Those are residential, I might get busted on that one too. So when we start the process, I'm gonna take this and bounce it off of ODOT and see if they throw it back at me.
okay.
Which Mark's laughing now, because he knows darn well they're gonna throw it back.
First reading, and we have a motion and a second. I would like to have a vote on passing this on the first reading.
Jim,
Yes.
Raylan,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Diane,
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Okay, that's 17-4. This one, 17-5, approving the cash reconciliation, which you just did a few minutes ago, through April of 2016. And this was declared by the auditors, they want this, excuse me, and we want to leave the, they don't have, yes, they do. They have an emergency clause in there. And you've read it. 17-5. A motion for resolutions number 217-5, approving the cash reconciliation for January. Motion to suspend the rules, please,
You have that motion?
and a second.
No, second.
Roll call vote on suspension of the rules.
Mary Lou,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Jim.
Yes,
Okay. A motion resolution 217-5, reconciliation for January 13 through April 16. And we want to leave the emergency clause in there. Motion.
I move we suspend the rules.
We just did that.
Did we do that?
We did the ransom. I want a motion now to adopt this with the.
Oh, okay, you're one ahead of me because I was
Yes, I
looking
am.
for something else.
Trying to be.
Courthouse man or anybody
Okay,
got the
she will give
number?
us, Mary Lou's giving us a motion to adopt
Yes.
or place resolution 217-5 on the first, second, and third readings with the emergency clause in there, declaring emergency. I think we're on track now.
I'll
Mary Lou
second.
gave me the motion, and I need a second.
Second.
Got it. Vote, please, on this resolution and declaring an emergency.
David,
Yes.
Diane,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Jim,
yes,
Mary Lou.
Yes.
Okay, now that was to place it on reading with the emergency clause. Now I want a motion to adopt this resolution with the emergency clause. We have the third readings. Now this is the reading to adopt it. Please.
You have that motion, sir?
Second?
I'll second.
I think we're ready for a roll call vote on that. Please.
Diane,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes,
Mary Lou,
Yes.
David.
Yes.
Thank you. That one's finished. I guess I mixed them up, didn't I?
No,
That
you
was
didn't.
5.
You did it right.
And
You're okay. You're on 6 now.
Yeah.
You're okay.
you're all right, all right.
You're all in order.
Now we have, sometimes I have to get the right reading because I have them without the number on them. The next one is 2017-6. But we have that in the form of a resolution, and you have a copy of that. That one is in your hands. And this one is a resolution approving additional funds for the continued work of local government services of the Auditor of State. They wanted us to extend this beyond the date that we have in here. And Cindy, we've talked to the state auditors. It's kind of hard to explain. There's one group called LGS. They want one thing, and the parent company wants a different one. And we have to fuss with both of them. We will pass this ordinance, hopefully, but we're not going to let them know that because they want to extend the auditing procedure one more month, and we think they should be done. They don't need another month because that's just more money for us to pay. Okay, this is 17, and by the way, all of these resolutions and ordinances, I can confirm that they are true to form.
That's correct.
All right, want to do that every time. Okay, this is resolution 17-6. And this is for the continued work, but we're not going to do this until we have to. This is to place, first, I want to motion to suspend the rules on this.
I'll give you that motion.
And a second? Gets mind-boggling after a while, doesn't it?
I'll second.
We have a second, and now we're going to vote on suspending the rules, please.
Rebecca?
Yes?
Jim?
Yes.
Mary Lou?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
Now, the next motion is to place resolution number 21706. Adopt this one, and we want to leave the emergency clause in there. So a motion to leave the emergency clause in there.
You have that motion?
Second,
I'll second.
roll call vote.
Jim?
Yes.
Mary Lou?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes?
Now, the motion I have is resolution 217-6. Place it on the first, second, and third reading. Motion, I want a motion to do that.
So moved, and I was paying attention.
And second,
I'll second.
roll call vote.
Mary Lou?
Yes.
David?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes?
Jim?
Yes.
The next motion is to place resolution 217-06. We've had it on the three readings. I want a motion to adopt.
You have that motion?
Resolution 217 with the emergency clause and the suspension of rules. Now we're going to adopt this. Roll call vote.
You need a second
Need a
first.
second.
I'll second.
I'm getting there. I'm trying to get there too fast. Okay, let's adopt it now.
David?
Yes.
Diane?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes?
Jim?
Yes.
Mary Lou?
Yes.
We have adopted it. Any questions? I think that's all we had on resolutions and ordinances. Okay.
I think I emailed everybody to let them know to check their yard the other day for their minutes and stuff. Looks like it's been to the old outhouse.
Yes, we haven't done these yet. That's those. Yes, they got,
Is that a version of the dog ate my homework?
It sort of is, yet, but it was already eaten by the time it got on this paper.
we don't need any resolutions on these, do we? All right.
Yeah, that's, I wanted you to give that to Mary Lou.
We haven't done these?
Yeah, give that to Mary Lou. No, there's a,
Oh. Tell me about it. I thought we had, but I wasn't sure and wasn't going to argue.
we're good.
Do we have any other business in our hands that we need to dispose of?
Lowell, I'd like to bring up
Wait a
tonight.
minute.
Okay.
On the ordinances and resolutions first.
Okay.
Nothing else on that? All right. Now, do you have something we need to bring up?
Yes, I want to bring this up. John Martin and I talked about it, and we both agree. We was talking about maybe behind the gazebo alley there, we want to put a sign up there and call it Veterans Way. And we talked about that and just wonder, since there's going to be a monument there, and just wonder if it'd be a possibility.
Well, since council's just heard about it, I would like to say, right at this time, they have a chance to think about it a while.
Okay.
Because I'm not so sure how many of us like that.
Okay. I just wanted to bring it up, you know.
That's fine.
Okay.
You became a part of the minutes.
Okay.
And I think that the Monument Committee has been meeting to work on ideas for the monument. And they met last 22nd. We talked about the placement of the monument in the area by the gazebo. And the monument size is not going to cost $100,000. we have 14,000, we'll ask for more donations on that, but I assure you that I will not have a part of something costing $100,000. We're not ready for that kind of an expenditure. And I think with the racket that has been caused by Joe Johnson, and racket is one of my favorite expressions anymore, the town would stop the next train going through town and supply us with tar and feathers, and we'd be on our way. We will not spend $100,000 of money that we do not have. We only have 14. So that's my thoughts on that. We talked about black granite. We also talked about the fact that some of that black granite comes from China. And, you know, our veterans worked hard, and I think we would have a war on our hands if we chose Chinese black granite. Beautiful, but I think our health is more and beautiful than that. So that's one thing we talked about. Lisa's going to check on the pricing. Lisa works for JCAR, and she's going to work on bids for that. Also, we have somewhere in the building here the monument to World War I veterans. We have to do something with that. So I've already told Max that we're going to contact him to do an article, but we want to proofread it before he prints it so that we have everything in there that we want according to what we said. He didn't agree to it, but I told him about it anyway. Look at him. He's so excited about that. No response. Make that something. And our next meeting is at March the 15th, Max. Smile for me. All right. Anything
Sounds
else,
like you sounds like you have a ghost editor.
Okay.
See, that got a laugh out of it.
Do we have anything else on the business before we get to roundtable? Roundtable, anything? Start with David. I guess you started in a way.
Yeah. One other thing I want to bring up, I was talking to about the Little League sign up, and it's coming on very strong, and I was talking to him, and looks like we're going to have a lot of good baseball players again this year.
All right. Mary Lou, anything?
No, except I was off guard because I can't make it the 4th. And I was double checking my calendar, the 7th rather. March, I can't do the finance. I could be here, but it won't be on time for your finance workshop.
If you want to change the time,
No,
Sue,
because
that'd
everybody
be-
else is fine.
Okay.
And
I
if
mean,
I'm a few-
I'm totally flexible. I told that to Rebecca
I'm a little bit
today,
more
so-
limited, I mean,
Right, let's just keep it where it is.
because I know Cindy's able to attend that too, and I know
Okay.
she's got some
Now,
limitations.
don't mess that all up. So
Okay.
if I'm here, fine.
But you'll
If I'm
be,
fine.
okay,
Okay.
sounds good, thank you.
Diane
Nothing?
and Susan. All right, Rebecca.
Narcan.
You remember council. Rebecca,
I don't have anything.
nothing. You've done it all, huh?
People went to happy hour without me and then
Jim
came to
Davis?
the meeting.
It's moved so fast and so smooth.
Yes.
I'm really impressed.
You're bowled over is more like it.
Okay. I'm going to go declare the meeting adjourned. If anybody has anything to say out of the audience, now's your turn.
Tell them bye, Mickey.
Oh, Flat Rock, I'll set you out back for that monument.
All right,
Big Flat Rock.
good.
There you go.
One of the stones out of the old mill.
There you go.
Okay. We're adjourned.